up, right with me, let's go. Keep your ears up and listen to me, let's go. Keep your head up, right with me, let's go. Keep your ears up,
Who's
listen
down
to me,
with
let's go. Keep your head.
TTP? Who's down with TTP? You down with TTP? Who's down with TTP? Hey, real quick, here comes the breakdown.
Keep your ears up and listen to me.
Yo, what up, what up? We did it. It's time, man. This is the first video, as I told you. I apologize in advance because this video was supposed to be gone yesterday, but I had realized a couple of things that was missing. So as you can see, we got a theme, we got slides. Yo, I told you, man, we doing this. It's only gonna get better as we go. So, as always, you already know who stands before you. It's the MICCASTERJ. That's me, Mike Caster. So, let's get into it, man. Let's turn around and do it. So, initially, these videos, all right, are going to turn around and focus on deep discussions, and these deep discussions are going to be based around mental and emotional triggers. All right. So real talk though, these conversations are going to get deep. I'm going to say a lot of things, and we're going to keep it real, man. We're going to keep this mature. We're going to keep this real. All right. What I mean by that is that there's going to be a lot of points from throwing accountability aspects. There's going to be a lot of interactive portions to this. So there's towards the end. So again, it's going to be questions or challenges that I'm going to throw you at the end that are, encompassed around whatever the subject may be at the time. So for this video, the subject right now is going to be about the logo itself, the Trust the Plus logo. So off the back, it is not just a cool logo I made in my sleep. The picture actually represents a lot of stuff, and we about to talk about it, man. We about to dive in. We about to get into this. I'm about to blow your mind. Hopefully. I don't know. Either that or I'm just gonna make you just go, he pulled that out of his ass. Nah, I hope you don't think that. But yeah, man, the Trust the Plus logo actually means a lot of stuff. Before we get into that, though, going back to it again, these videos are going to be about discussions. These discussions are going to have a target focus. They're going to go through like the points that you saw in the opening of the intro. All right, so we're going to start off with the discussion. We're going to start off with the ways you can get into your life. We're going to start off with we're going to turn around and talk about how it can affect you. The results of those effects, and how to overcome it. And of course, again, it's Trust the Plus. If anybody who's looking at the logo, it's obviously a cross. So there's a spiritual nature behind all of this. So there will be, Bible quotes that will be given at the end that relate to whatever that subject is. Don't let that deter you. That doesn't mean that, if somebody's not a Christian, they can't watch this video. No, because again, what God put in my heart and what this is going to encompass about is going to be about those mental and emotional triggers. Now, would I like you to turn around and start, seeking the word and start getting interested into? Yeah. But again, what God placed in my heart is to turn around and initially go around the discussion. But there will be Bible verses at the end that relate to each topic that we're doing. And then also towards the end, there'll be questions. So, the questions can consist of anywhere to like 5 or 7 different questions. But some of them more so will be posed into a challenge. And you can either accept those challenges or, keep moving, keep about your day, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to get into this, and you see those challenges at the end once this video is done. So, now that we've got that out the way, right? Initially with these videos, what you guys will see, not so much in this first one, is it'll be a disclosure at the end. So that what I just told you will also be inside the comments and stuff like that. As well as I want these conversations to be real. I want this to be a forum or a platform where people can kind of like conversate and talk to each other. So, as this videos start building traction and people start commenting and stuff like that, I'm also going to monitor the comments and make sure there's no keyboard warriors inside here throwing around hate and negativity. So yeah, we gonna kill that off the rip. We not dealing with that. All right. So we gonna make sure that this is definitely a platform where people can open up more, really kind of like have that self-discovery moment, because a lot of y'all could be feeling certain things or be going through a lot of these stressors or triggers and not realize it, because it's very, very, very easily for these things to kind of take over your lives. And I feel like it's important discussions to have. I feel like it's important discussions to have with loved ones and friends, or whoever you're surrounded by, whoever surrounds you in your life. So people try to shy away from it, but I'm trying to make it okay. I'm trying to make it comfortable, if that makes sense, for these discussions to happen, and just kind of like play as your accountability partner, man, and the same for myself. So as I'm talking around and I'm doing these videos, I'm not only saying it to you, I'm more likely saying it to myself. So it's a self-check for myself as well too. These videos will be released on Tuesday formally. It didn't happen for this Tuesday because there was some stuff I needed to do, and I wasn't just gonna just push this out, especially if this is supposed to be the initial video, man. Like, people got to go back to this a couple days later and stuff like that, man. So I want to make sure I gave this video the proper care it needed, and at least had something together. Plus, the topic we're going over is going to be really important. It's going to encompass around the whole thing, and just the plus symbol by itself. So, all right, that's enough of that. So okay, here we go now. What is the Trust the Plus logo? All right, so there's going to be visuals and stuff that I'm about to show you as we break this thing down. But the Trust the Plus logo is actually a whole entire mantra, man. It's something that you can apply to your life. And as I explain it, you can already kind of decipher from there whether or not it's something that you want to turn around and utilize. And the whole purpose of it is to impact you in a way where you're manifesting and you're projecting more of yourself outward versus trying to keep everything internally, where you're turning around, you're handling your pillars based off of the things that you turn around and have encompassed in your life, and they're supposed to be helping those pillars. When I mean by pillars, I'm talking about the three things that I'm focused on, which is overall health in body, mind, and spirit. So BMS, also known as BIMS. We're gonna call it BIMS from this point on, so that way I don't gotta keep saying body, mind, and spirit every single time. So this whole thing is gonna play into a strong factor in what this is supposed to be about, what this channel is supposed to be about, what I'm supposed to be about. So as we get into it, as you look into the plus, first thing that you can see is that it has arrows, and all the arrows are facing outwards. That's not it's not a weird concept. I do that by accident. That's on purpose. So these arrows are supposed to extend, right? Because everything that that you're about, everything that you care about, or that you have in your life, that that you're interested in, that you do, goals, focuses, and everything like that, are all supposed to project outward, so it brings out the best you that you can possibly be. All right. So these arrows serve a purpose, and they're supposed to extend. So the more things that you have on each end of these arrows, which we'll get into, the better outcome, or the better manifesting and projecting that you're doing inside of your life, and the better overall health that you're having in both mind, in both body, mind, spirit, which again, we're going to call it BIMS. I ain't going to say it yet because I don't want to confuse nobody, but we're going to call it BIMS. So that's what the arrows represent. So it actually serves a purpose. All right. And with each of those arrows, they there's different parts that they're called. So the top and the bottom portion are going to be known as your anchors. So these are the heavy stuff. So what you're going to initially do when you see this picture is try and focus on where certain things fit. So as far as your anchors, when it comes to your anchors, the top one is things that you hold above everything. All right. So obviously for me, it would be God, it would be a family, stuff like that. And for you, to other people, it can add on mentors and stuff to that list. So your top portion initially is things that are just constant in your life that can even help you and feed into the other portions of this plus, of this cross, because that's initially it's cross. So there's other things that can help feed into other portions of your life that you regard at a high level. So that's what's supposed to be in the top one. And your bottom anchor, which is ironic, this is the reason why it's not centered downward to represent hell. We're just gonna get that out the way. It's not centered downward to represent hell, all right? But it's basically meant things that keep you grounded, in a good way, that keep you standing. And these things are what drives you, other stuff that drives you. So like goals, achievements, things that you want to overcome or accomplish. That's what will go on that bottom end. So again, top end, your top anchor is going to be things that you hold in the high regards, like your family, God, Bible, scripture, or mentors, and that list can get specific. And since these arrows extend, you can put as many things on there that you hold in high regards that way, and then vice versa for the bottom anchor. You can put a lot of whatever goals or achievements and stuff you want to accomplish, and there will be a reason for all this stuff after I finish breaking down the whole entire arrow, so it'll make sense towards the end. But yeah, you want to those what's on those different points of the spectrum, and you want to have things there. Now you don't have to fill up this list. You don't have to feel like you got to have a whole bunch of stuff on either side. The more stuff, I will tell you, the more stuff you have on either side, the better. But even if you start with like one or two things on each point, that's fine. All right, that's perfectly fine. Full disclosure already in this video, because I told you we're gonna be real in this video. If you are a disturbed individual and you just happen to find this video and stuff like that, this is not for you. And the fact will work opposite for anyone turning around and doing, for lack of a better term, just ain't right in the head. Because this plus also has a polar effect, all right? And so, as you can see, with the arrows projecting outward, when you're manifesting and projecting, you're turning around, you're overall trying to, bring out the better in you, which is the reason why there's a halo at the top of it. When you're adding stuff or you're doing things to this plus that are not that, it starts going back inward here. So it's almost like self-destructing yourself. So it just flips and it starts turning around and affecting every aspect of that plus, of that cross, and closing things up. And I'll explain more about the closing up part as we get through into there, but I just want to already just kind of like give a disclosure. So if you think that you're a disturbed individual and you can probably use this process and stuff, no, it's going to implode on you, because it's also designed that way too. Because it's a self-check system. So let's get into the rest of it first, and then I'll explain more on what I mean by that, so that way I don't lose you guys. So from your anchors, we now go to what's called your branches. All right. Now the interesting part of the branches is yeah, it's definitely the most interesting part of the plus. So what goes on the branches, the left or the right side, it doesn't necessarily matter, but what goes on these branches is activities, things that get you active. So again, this is if you're kind of catching on to where I'm going with this, we're now already in the physical aspect, right? The body, things that kind of make you that you do from day to day. It could be hobbies and stuff, activities. So it was something as simple as reading, or something that's also as simple as doing music. Ha. Doing music or in karaoke. Like, a lot of things can be in there. You can have fun with that side with the branches. The reason why the branches are interesting, though, is because the branches is where you'll discover a lot of things that are known as excess material. So, as you fill out this list and you place these things, you'll begin to also start evaluating whether these things are really helping bring out the best in you, or they're really going to help project forward, or they're really helping you kind of maintain a level of peace of mind, body, and spirit, BIMS. You start changing those things. So the purpose is to put these things out on a paper, right? Just lay these out, kind of figure out what point of the branches these things are at, and then start laying them out on paper and start really reevaluating them. So as you'll get into this, and you'll do this plus, and you'll start placing things, you start looking at stuff, because the overall goal after you do this is it'll lay out who you are as an individual. These are the things, these are the principles, these are stuff that I enjoy, this is what I stand by, this is what I do, this is who I am. That's what the plus is. You basically carrying your own cross, your own version of yourself. So it's all supposed to kind of encompass you. So as everybody's kind of doing this stuff, everyone will have different things on different parts of the list, according to those specifics on the plus, and it'll lay out differently for every individual, where you'll have more of an understanding of yourself. So the things that you're interested in, your focuses, your goals, and everything like that, like all of that will be like right there. It's gonna be crazy if you do it. It's cool. And then these are things that you can remember and hold to yourself. And then, as like I said, if you feel like some things need to change out and everything like that, you can always refer back to this and look at it and keep doing the self check. Like, are these things still doing what they're supposed to do on each individual part of the arrows? So the purpose of those branches, if you see, they're extending out to the wings, right? So I already told you the top anchor is supposed to be things that you hold above all, and they help support those other aspects of the plus. On top of that, they're geared. You see that it aims upwards, so it starts going here. So these are, again, they're constant. These are things you always have in your brain. Like family, like God. These are things that these people and things that you always have in your mindset, right? That kind of you hold in high regard. And then, like I said, the other anchor, the bottom anchor, is things that keep you grounded. That's the reason why it's pointed to the floor. They keep you grounded. So these are things that drive you, that kind of hold you centered. As long as you're focusing on these things, you have a direction, and those are goals, accomplishments, things that you want to achieve. So if you're getting the picture, that's the overall aspect of this. This is where this is going, right? So now that the branches point out to the wings. The reason why it points out to the wings is, ironically, these activities and stuff that you like to do, that you like to focus on, are supposed to be things that lift your spirit. That's the reason why with the wings. Again, like, this whole thing is really metaphorical. I promise you, I didn't just make up all this stuff overnight. Like, this is a whole concept and stuff that I've been working on for the longest time. And I just now finally got to a place where I'm like, I want to share this with people. This is all stuff that I've been holding for a minute. I just never shared with anybody. So now I'm sharing it with you. And if it helps you in any kind of way, kind of keep yourself in check and kind of really lay out yourself as a person, and great, man. I hope it does. That's the goal here. So yeah, so there is things that lift your spirit. So again, your side arrows are your branches, your top and bottom arrows are going to be your anchors. Your side arrows are going to be the most interchangeable part of this cross, of this plus. There are also parts that can easily affect other aspects, which is why it's very important what you put on those branches, because you can put stuff that can initially affect those other things that you turn around, you enjoy, that help lift your spirits, and then it can also start turning around and corrupting other parts of that plus. Again, the overall goal is you want to keep having stuff laid out in different parts and different aspects of this plus that are initially essentially helping you and bringing out the better in you. If it is not doing that, you want to remove those things off that list and either replace with something else or leave that thing off, leave whatever you removed off completely until you find something else. Okay, don't feel forced to actually have to add something after you remove something off this list. And branches, you'll probably be doing that a lot as life progresses. Just like the bottom anchor, you'll probably be doing that a lot as life progresses, because goals and stuff change. The top portion is probably, again, because it's supposed to be stuff that's constant, probably going to be the only part that doesn't change unless those other aspects start affecting that, or unless it's just a rare occasion that the stuff that you hold in that top anchor aren't really holding you down the way they're supposed to. You feel me? So, and then last thing about the branches is you can organize the branches however you want to. So like I said, it doesn't matter. The branches both represent wings, so whatever activities and stuff you're into can go for both branches. Or if you really want to make it specific, you can turn around and separate them. Those activities can be anywhere from stuff that really gears more towards the mind, and then stuff that really gears more towards the body. Stuff that you use to feed your left brain, stuff that reach your right brain, creative stuff, thinking stuff, like really dissect it out. If you want to, you can. Or you can keep it general if you want to, you can. But the overall goal as you're doing this is to have some form of identity on it. So after you kind of turn around and go that way, you can see how it turns around and does it's supposed to do that. So as you turn around and look at it, it's supposed to give you a concept of who am I. All right, who am I? What are the things I like to do? What am I about? And that's the core portion of the plus. And then those will give you principles and stuff that you hold dear towards, and where your focuses initially lie, and yourself as an individual, and just kind of making sure that these things are allowing you to manifest and project yourself in the way that you're supposed to, in a way that you could be proud of, in a way that you enjoy, in a way that you feel is helping your BIMs. All right. Now, the center, when it comes to the center, as you can see, there's an orange thing background, right? So that orange portion over there is your projection, manifesting stuff. So it should always be going outward, and it shouldn't be going inward. And again, it starts going inward when you start adding stuff to this arrow. You start doing stuff that overall starts corrupting, other portions, other aspects of your life that you have on here that are all dedicated towards plus, that are all dedicated towards making you better. So that you always want to feel like that circle is projecting outward, and you're not starting to internalize it. If you're starting to internalize it, then it's time to reevaluate some of the stuff on your plus. You feel me? And then add something different. There's a reason for it being plus. So the reason for it being called a plus is it's supposed to add to you. If it is not adding to you, and it's not doing those things that I'm saying, it's allowing you to manifest and project, it is not good for you, and you should remove it. And this plus is kind of a self-check for you to turn around and do that. So it's something you can always come back to if you want to turn around and utilize it. You are more than welcome to. So yeah, you want that to always be beaming outward. Reason why is because of the next part. So if you notice in the center, there's like a little star thing. That is on purpose. That star is supposed to represent the Star of Bethlehem, the one that Jesus was born under, that, led the wise men, the Magi, over to Jesus, right? I told you, there's a spiritual nature behind it. After all, it's a cross. Like, it's going to be a spiritual nature behind it. But it can be applied to anybody's life. So your goal for this whole entire plus, this whole entire thing, this cross, right, is to ensure that your star is shining bright and is beaming outward, because that's what that circle represents. That is your star shining outwards, right? That's a representation of you, and gives people, it gives yourself a detail of who you are as a person, and what you're about, right? So I told you, there's deep spectrum into all of this. Like this gets deep. This gets deep. There's a lot of thought behind this. I'm not making any of this stuff up. I already had all of this stuff planned, so this is real genuine stuff. This is what goes on in here in regards to that. It's a whole concept. So yeah, you want your Star of Bethlehem to be shining outwards, right, and to be projecting and emitting outwards. You don't want it doing the opposite. So again, that corruption, that corroding thing, having things on the list that are not fully encompassed around your BIMs, making you your best self, that will dim your star. So those are things that will cause your wings close up, things to cause all that projecting that you're doing, all that stuff that's going outward and everything like that to start internalizing. And it'll start crushing you from the inside, and this plus will now become a crutch. All right, so you basically, in a matter of sense, crucify yourself. That's right, I definitely use that word, because again, it's a self-check thing. So this cross, this personal cross that you carry, this plus that you carry, will either add to you, and you will utilize it to be a symbol or resemblance of who you are as a person, and you being at your peak self through those different things, and through those different aspects, through your branches, through your anchors and stuff, and through the different aspects of things that you hold dear in your life. But it can also turn around and be a crutch if you are not fully checking those things on a constant basis and making sure that it is doing what it's supposed to, what this is designed to do, right? Which is overall have you feel good, keep you away from those triggers, allow you to have that overall health where you feel like these things are helping in different aspects of your BIMs. All right, so because the more it does that, if you notice on the plus, there's a halo. So you can see where I'm going with this. So as long as you're manifesting, you're projecting outwards, it's a halo. When you start doing the opposite, it can change to whatever you want to fill in the blank with, man. For my spiritual folk, Christian folks, you already know what that is. So again, it's a self check. It's a self check thing. I told you, I'm gonna be real with you on these videos, man. So if that makes you uncomfortable, I'm sorry, but it's a self check thing. It's designed to make you turn around and just start really thinking about things internally, and making sure that you're not here, and you're more here. All right, you should be in a point where you're comfortable enough with the things that you have, and you feel like what you have going on, what you have yourself centered around, is again positively affecting your BIMs, is positively allowing you to show who you are as a person. It's things that you feel like that, this represents me well. Like you can look at this plus and go, this is a good concept of who I am as a person, and be proud of that. All right. So that's ultimately what I want this to do. All right. So again, this is a whole concept. This is a mantra, and this is why I turn around and I say, trust the plus. What you wrote down, if you're honest and you're genuine with yourself, and you put all this stuff, and you're making sure that it's encompassed around the things that I told you, especially the aspect of which each part of the plus represents, then you should be able to trust that and utilize that going forward to, again, overall keeping track of your BIMs, your body, your mind, and your spirit, and your positivity, your projection, your you know who you are as a person. Like self check. All right. So that is an important part, and I wanted to start off this first video talking about that part because that right there is key. It's key to the whole trust the plus thing, man. It's extremely key. So again, know your anchors. So know what keeps you grounded. Know what stays in your mind constantly at all time, and make sure that those things that you hold dear as a constant, that you hold above all, is things that feed the other parts of that plus, right? Or you can apply the different aspects into that plus, that overall help that your BIMs. All right, you want to make sure that the things on your branches are things. The video ran a little bit long. It's all good though. I was gonna finish that last part of the video saying that make sure that it's the branches are things that lift your spirits, and that the branches and the anchors are things that are turning around and helping you project outward. So again, that you're protecting that Star of Bethlehem inside, right? Which is what we talked about, and that's outer circle, that beam, that light that comes out from that star is projecting outward and not being internalized. Aside from that, yo, next video is gonna be about stress, so definitely look forward to that. It's gonna be great. So I'm out of here. As you can see, I'm still in the midst of my work day. So aside from that, this is the MICCASTERJ Mike Caster, J, MCJ for short. And I will catch you guys on the next video where we turn around, we start diving into stress, man. We're gonna start getting into it. So questions are gonna come after this video is over. And that's it, yo. Love y'all. Peace.